Howdy, so this is our group project, Urban Issues Around the World by me.
Sophia.
And Laramie.
All right, so our timeline of different slides.
London is located in the southeastern corner of the United Kingdom. It was established by the Roman Empire and currently has a population of nearly 9 million people. This city is extremely diverse, as you can see in the graph on the slide. A high percentage of residents are foreign-born. London's GDP per capita is high compared to the rest of Europe. It is very multicultural, and its government has a parliament democracy and constitutional monarchy. If London can't house the people running it, who is this city really supporting? The prices of homes on the market have become too high, meaning citizens can't find affordable housing. The causes of this issue include a shortage of homes being built and house prices being far above the average income of many London residents. Gentrification of neighborhoods is pushing longtime residents out, especially working class or minority communities. As population growth has rapidly increased due to the numerous opportunities in London, the housing supply cannot keep up. Many of these houses being built are luxury units designed to maximize property owner profit. This housing crisis in London has led to many unfortunate consequences for its citizens. It has increased the homeless population because people have been evicted from their homes. There is now a large number of empty luxury apartments. This results in significant economic loss. London residents have been forced to live on the outskirts of the city because buying or renting there is somewhat cheaper. This has resulted in longer daily travel times. Increased commutes further contribute to economic strain and climate change. Overall, the rich in London are getting richer because their properties are appreciating, while the poor are getting poorer because property prices are too high for them to become property owners. Currently, London authorities are promoting the development of high-density housing. They have met their previous goals regarding the number of council homes being built, but insufficient funding and rising costs are slowing progress. Other solutions that we believe could positively impact this significant issue include increasing the overall supply of homes and encouraging shared housing. This may lower housing or rental prices by reducing the demand for housing. Additionally, efforts that better utilize London's limited space include providing lodging and encouraging older homeowners to downsize, thereby creating more housing opportunities for growing families.
Hi, let's talk about the traffic issues of Mexico City. Before we start talking about the traffic issues, you should start talking about the background. Mexico City has a president, and her name is Claudia Sheinbaum. She represents left-leaning ideologies and is the first female president in Mexico. This is quite interesting since Mexico tends to be more traditional, and she brings a different perspective to this country. The climate in Mexico. It is mild and warm, and it's located near lots of mountains, and as a result, there's limited air. The culture in Mexico. Mexico City speaks Spanish, and it was originally under the Spanish rule until gaining their independence. We can see this by its monumental buildings and its influence. Mexico City is known for their colorful cuisine and traditional music. Demographics. Mexico City is the 10th largest city in the country, in the world, I apologize. Over 20 million people are located here. And geography. Mexico City is located near the U.S., making it very easy for trading to happen. So what is the issue about traffic? We all experience it. What's so big and what's so impactful in Mexico? Well, Mexico City in general has its population and is incrementing at a very fast velocity. The city can't keep up with that many people. This is very noticeable because we can see how building infrastructure is being affected by this. and how buildings are being piled upon one another to build faster and to have more living spaces available for these people. And because of this, air pollution has incremented and lots of traffic as a result. People in Mexico City spend over 2 hours in traffic each and every day. I know you're thinking traffic, we all experience it. It's not that much. But in reality, if you take into account how much an average driver spends each year, they spend over 10 days, almost 10 days in traffic. And as a result of this, it's costing many Mexican citizens trillions of dollars. And the pollution level is at its highest point than ever. Mexico City was named once of the most polluted city. Solutions. The government has found ways to try to help this problem by dedicating more resources for easy mobility to car infrastructure, more resources to public transportation, not limited to bicycle routes or pedestrian infrastructure. But the reality is this isn't very helpful because many people opt not to use these cleaner ways because the safety issues, and it's safer for them to go in car in their own right. In addition to this, Mexico has also created a system in this bus called Metrobus. What is Metrobus? Metrobus is pretty much a bus that can take you from an airport to different cities in Mexico. You buy a prepaid Metrobus card and you swipe it to utilize the buses. A single ride is 6 pesos, or the equivalent to 29 cents. But the disadvantage of this is that it only serves a small percentage of people, making it very hard for residents in this country to use it. I know you're thinking, hey, it's relatively cheap, but if you take into account that our dollar is worth more than our peso, obviously it is cheaper for us than for an average person to utilize this. This hasn't been very helpful because there's still large amounts of traffic. Residents can't afford it, and when people try to use it, it's already overcrowded.
All right, now on to part 5 about comparing and contrasting these urban issues in these cities. So some of the similarities that these issues share is that there's rapid urbanization and population growth happening in these cities. So specifically in Mexico City, there's 80% of the population lives in urban areas. And whereas in London, 84% of the UK's population is urbanized. So those are very high and continuing to grow numbers. Economic inequality and spatial segregation. They both share social economic disparity, and it has a larger influence on the resource availability. Lastly, one of the last similarities they share is government policy and planning failures. There's been underinvesting and underplanning in the infrastructure sector, and some of the differences that these problems in these various cities differ in regards to is the root cause. So London's housing crisis is mainly not because they're not putting up enough houses and stuff. It's more of because of restricted building regulations, gentrification, and foreign investments. And then Mexico City's traffic routes stem from the poor public transportation options they have. And it's a very car-centric city where it's planned around. The second difference that they have is public versus private sectors. So it's kind of mentioned in the last point, but in London, the housing issue is primarily because of lack of regulations of public sector control of properties, whereas Mexico City's traffic conditions are a result of the public infrastructure issue. And so solution pathways in London, slow systematic reform and long-term policy shifts, such as affordable housing and rent controls are options. So that would allow more people to have access to housing, and then also with the rent controls, that would also limit those private investors from skyrocketing high prices and whatnot. And whereas in Mexico City needs immediate and medium-term actions, providing operational upgrades and behavioral changes. So in conclusion, while London and Mexico City's urban city issues create problems within their respective city, there are solutions. By studying the patterns of various other cities that we have dealt with of similar issues, they provide testimony and example to improve the city's issues. With the help of the community and policymakers, it's possible to shape the trajectory of a city in a way that promotes the well-being of its citizens, as well as lessening or reducing the urban issues and barricades, limiting its urban development. And then this next slide is our sources slide, as well as this one. And then yeah, thank y'all for watching. Gig 'em.